The Hayes Tower was always loud, alive, and full of ambition during the day, but after midnight, it belonged only to echoes and shadows. Alina Hayes, the CEO, often worked late not out of necessity, but because success had long ago replaced her personal life. Being the youngest female CEO in her sector brought power, but also isolation. At exactly 1:30 a.m., she stretched her neck and prepared to leave when she heard faint humming echoing through the corridors. She knew that sound is soft, calm, always the same tune. Liam, the night janitor. He was polite but reserved, a man who kept his head down. He never spoke unless spoken to, never complained, never asked for anything. To most, he was invisible. But lately in Broken Bar Alina had noticed something different. The quiet humming, the tired eyes, and a strange urgency in the way he moved around the building after midnight. Curiosity tugged at her. For reasons she couldn't fully justify, she opened the security feed on her office monitor, and that's when she saw Liam rushing toward the exit with a heavy duffel bag slung over his shoulder. Glancing over his shoulder as if hiding something. What in the world? A Broken Bar Alina whispered. Something didn't feel right. Instinct told her to ignore it. But a deeper part of her, a human part she rarely listened to, pushed her to get up, grab her coat, and follow him. She slipped out quietly, keeping her distance as he walked into the dark, cold streets. At 2 a.m., the city felt like another world. Liam crossed 2 blocks, then entered an alley behind an abandoned warehouse. The duffel bag looked heavier with every step. Alina's heart pressed against her ribs. Was he in trouble? Was he dangerous? Or a broken bar? Was he suffering silently in ways she had failed to see? She took a breath and followed him inside. The warehouse was cold and dusty, but the moment she stepped in, warmth bloomed in the form of soft yellow lights. Blankets on the floor, a broken bar, and 6 children huddled together, sleeping peacefully. Liam placed the duffel bag down and carefully pulled out boxes of warm food, medical supplies, wool blankets, and books. He set everything neatly, quietly, lovingly. Alina covered her mouth. They were homeless children seeking refuge in the shadows of the city, and the janitor she had overlooked every day was their guardian angel. At 2 a.m., she slowly stepped forward. Liam? She whispered. He spun around, startled, eyes wide, but not with guilt, with fear of being misunderstood. Miss Hayes, Broken Bar, I didn't take anything from the company, I swear. Yeah, please, just let me explain. She stepped closer, voice soft. I'm not here to accuse you, the Broken Bar here to understand. Liam exhaled shakily and sank onto a crate. He explained everything. How he once ran a youth shelter with his wife before she fell terminally ill. How medical bills consumed everything. How the shelter closed. How he lost his home. How the children kids he once cared for began finding him again, one by one, needing safety. How he worked nights because it was the only shift that allowed him to protect them. I'm doing the best I can, he said, eyes shining but proud. They're not criminals. They're just children who were forgotten. Alina felt her chest tighten painfully. Forgotten, like she had once felt, like she had once been. She looked at the children sleeping on the cold concrete, and something shifted inside her, something warm, powerful, unstoppable. Liam, she said gently, you should never have had to do this alone. He stared at her. What do you mean? She stood up straighter. I'm going to help you, all of you. The next morning, Hayes Tower didn't wake up to emails or spreadsheets. It woke up to Alina Hayes herself, standing beside Liam, announcing the launch of a company-funded shelter, education program, and employment pipeline for homeless youth. The media exploded. Employees were stunned. But the children of Broken Bar, they finally had a place to call home. And Liam, the invisible janitor, became the director of the new program. His compassion now supported instead of hidden. That night, as Alina walked out of the completed shelter, she felt a small hand slip into hers. One of the little girls looked up at her and whispered, Miss Alina, a Broken Bar, thank you for finding us. Alina's eyes filled. No, she said softly, thank you for reminding me what leadership really means. And from then on, Hayes Tower wasn't just a company. It became a home, a lifeline, a legacy of compassion born from a CEO's curiosity and a janitor's extraordinary heart.